And of course, Father teach me like my religion. Father teach me discipline, rules, and number one things it was respect. And about Michael Jordan, I think like it's really touched my heart.
When I watched The Last Dance, did any thought cross your mind to say like, what if I come back one more time? Did that ever cross your mind?
This is
There's the tap!
In America, we have a few hundred genders. How many genders do you guys have in Russia? Am I safe though, or is there still a chance that there's danger for me?
Tell brother, I can smash your face.
Who's the toughest puncher? Like, who's the hardest puncher with you that you felt that you said this was a good punch?
I think it was.
So the next speaker we're going to bring up is going to be an interesting one. Let me tell you why. How many guys love UFC? Who loves UFC? All right. So, think about how many in your life have ever gotten a black eye before? Raise your hand if you've had a black eye before. How many of you gotten to a fight and you've had your nose bloody? Anybody's ever had a nose bloody, yes or no? Who's ever broken their nose before in a fight? Have you ever broken your nose before in a fight? So I want you to think about this. How many of you, hear me out for a second, of all the fights you got into, you fought a professional that has better precision to hit your nose to bleed? Or did you just fight regular people in the streets? Regular people in the streets. Okay, so I want you to think about this here. There's a lot of things you can say about our next speaker. Many call him the GOAT of UFC. By the way, he's had 29 fights. He has never, ever lost a single fight, ever. And they say he's only lost one round, but obviously I'm not gonna say that in front of you guys, because if I say it, he's gonna be very upset with me. But they say there's been one round. But when we're in the back having a conversation together, we're talking about marriage. A great conversation with Khabib about marriage. It's an inside joke. But his manager and I are talking. He says, Patrick, do you realize why this man is the greatest of all time? I said, tell me why. He says, brother, Khabib has never, ever had a bloody nose or a scratch on his face or a black eye ever in 29 fights with some of the greatest fighters in the world. Did you hear what I just said? In 29 fights, this has never happened. He is the most popular Russian on Instagram with 35 million followers, okay? Many call him the greatest. He's got a lot of, when we're talking to him, we were having entertaining conversations, but he's also a very valued-based man. At 9 years old, I was showing the video to Dylan. He didn't believe me. I said, Dylan, he wrestled bears. He said, no, he didn't. I said, I'm telling you, he wrestled bears. I don't believe you. How many guys don't believe me that at 9 years old, he was wrestling bears? Who doesn't believe me? How many of you have seen the video of him wrestling bears at 9 years old? He was wrestling bears at 9 years old. Give it up to what many call the GOAT of UFC, Khabib Nurmagomedov. How you feeling?
Great.
Good?
Yeah.
So what do you think about when you're here in MGM Grand Arena? I think you got a couple experiences here.
First of all, what's up, guys? How are you? This is, I fight on this arena twice. And, it's like, it's not a good place for you to joke too much, It's like,
It's not a good place to joke too much. So,
with me.
Oh, for you? For you not to joke or for me not to joke?
No, for you to joke with me. Even it's not cagey, it's like,
Right.
It's a little bit still dangerous.
So am I safe though, or is there still a chance that there's danger for me?
This depends on you.
This is depends. Okay, so How many of you have seen him fight many times? How many guys have seen the fights with him? Okay. We can talk about the fighting, but we were having conversation in the back, and you had a chance to meet my father. You met my wife. You met the kids. You met the family. You met the friends. My relationship with my dad is very, very important to me as a father and a son. And I come from the Middle East as well. What role did your father play in your life, in the way you look at life?
You know, my father was for me is like, he was, first of all, he was my father. Second, he was my coach. And we spent all my life, I spent time with him. Even when we was on training camp, like, you know, I was like at home, at the gym, like everywhere. I was with my father. And he was like my friend, you know, it was like very, very close relationship with him, you know, and the father was like everything for me.
He was in the military, and he was very much a disciplinarian when you study kind of what his background was. Was his style of father, you know, relationship with you, was he a friend from the beginning, or was he first trying to discipline you, turn you into a man, and then became a father-son friendship? Like, was he a guy that would say, I love you, son? You know, would he kiss you on the cheek, or would he kiss you on the head? Was he like that kind of a father? Was a lot of discipline?
It's like in our culture, it's like, it's very hard to hear from father, oh, I love you. It's very hard. It's because it's our culture, but we show our kids, we love you. It's like, I talk about when I was like 15, 16. Of course, when I was like baby, he said to me, it's a lot, but when you become like 15, 16, when you become like man, you know, it's like I say like before, it's like a lot of people joke with me, it's like love make your heart weak, you know, it's like, you know what I'm talking about? Not agree?
Do I what?
You are not agree?
Do I not agree?
Yeah.
I think I agree.
No, I talk about like love make your heart weak.
Yes.
No?
Love make your heart weak?
No, I'm joking. Right?
Okay, by the way,
And
there's one thing about the Habib I got to tell you guys on the back. You see him, you think he's very serious, but there's a very low-key, underground, funny side to you. The people that are close to you, do you have a sense of humor, or is like, do you keep that to yourself?
it depends like how I feel energy.
Okay.
Like if I feel good energy with you, I can joke.
I respect it, because it was very good fun talking to you in the back. It was very entertaining talking to you in the back. So go back to with Pops.
Yeah, it's like when I was like growing, like I realized like father is my like real friend. Like when I was like 15, 16. Before that, I was thinking like, why this guy pushed me too much? You know, it's like too much training, this, wrestling with the bears, like animals, like doing all this stuff. And I was competing in all sports, amateur, you know, like freestyle wrestling, Greco-Roman, grappling, like combat sambo. Like I was competing in everywhere, like judo. And like when I become like 15, 16, I become like very close with father. I realized like his system, I understand what he wants from me. I understand like everything, and we become like very close. Before that, maybe because of like different of age, or maybe I was like teenager, like I don't know. Before that, I was like, of course I was following all his rules, but most of the time I was disagree with him. And like 15, 16, I realized there is no freedom speech between you and your parents.
There is no freedom of speech.
No freedom of speech.
How old were you where you're kind of like, you know what, a lot of this stuff my dad's been telling me has been right. You know, when I thought he was wrong, this guy knows what he's talking about. Was there a moment for you there, or was that around the 15, 16 age?
No, it was like around 15, 16.
15, 16 age.
Maybe 14, I don't remember, like 14, 16. Like,
makes sense. And what were some of the values you picked up from him? Meaning, like, was there a set schedule? Was there like, you got to do this, you got to be respectful, you got to train? What were some values? Because it's very obvious when I watch you, or even in interviews, or even the way you fought Conor, which we'll get into here in a minute, it's extremely obvious there is a couple things no one can disrespect with you, whether it's your faith and your father. In order to have that kind of loyalty, everybody has it, but to have it the level that you have it, there's got to be a certain level of admiration. What were some things your dad taught you that stuck with you at a young age?
It's like about me, like all my life, I have schedule, you know. I have rules, I have discipline. And for me, it's all about numbers, you know. I have to do most of them, like all things, like on time. Like you have to wake up on like 6, 7, you have to train. After you come home, breakfast, go school, come back, do homework, train, come back, eat, sleep, repeat. It's like this. You know, like a lot of people think like to become world champion, to become the best in the world, it's not easy things. You know, you have to be like you have to be focused on all your life. It's like, it's about sacrifice, like about 30 years. Like next month I'm gonna be like 35. I find myself on mats when I was like 3, 4, I don't remember like exactly what, but I beginning work on the mats because when we was living in village, my father opened first gym in our house, and he begin train like guys from village, you know. I was like 3 or 4 years. And since that time, like all my life, I was training by my father, and no day off, you know. I remember like all my life I was in the gym. And from that point, like, and of course, father teach me like my religion, father teach me discipline, rules, and number one things, it was respect. You have to respect gym, you have to respect coaches, you have to respect your sparring partners, you have to respect all people. You cannot fight in the street because you know how to hurt people. It was like all about respect, you know. And when somebody tried to like bully me or disrespect me, and this is not good idea, I think.
How old were you when the first time you knew you were dangerous? Like meaning, like for a person to fight you, like you know you have access to certain skill sets that could really hurt somebody?
I think it was 17 or 18.
Got it.
That time, because I'm from Dagestan, and we have traditional like most of the old kids, they train like doing some martial arts like wrestling, boxing, judo, like whatever, but everybody train. Even like when you go to the school, in your class you have like 15 people like who can give you a hard fight. It's like become competition every day, go to school and come back, you know. But I grew up with my brothers, and they all was training, and I have big support always. But anyways, you know, like when you fight alone, and it was like big experience to growing in Dagestan, like between like 13 and 20th. I remember it was like too much fight in street. And when I was like 17 or 18, like I realized I can really hurt people. And I remember like father told me like, you cannot fight in street because I teach you all life how to become world champion. And when you become 18, 19, when you can hurt people, you have to control yourself. It's very dangerous. This is almost same thing like gun. You have gun and you have to control yourself. And around like 17, 18.
Yeah, I was asking you in the back, I said, you know, I can only imagine if somebody just sees you, maybe they don't recognize who you are and they had one too many drinks and they try to pick a fight with you and what you tell them. Has that ever happened? Where somebody doesn't know who you are?
A couple of times happened here in US, but my hometown, like they all know me. It's like almost like I never have problem. Like, but here a couple of times I have that.
What do you tell them? Do you say?
I tell them, brother, I can smash your face. Like, you have to calm down.
You just tell them very straight up.
It was 2012 when I just moved to California. When I just signed with UFC, my English was not good, and it was between my gym and hotel. It was like 5 minutes walking, and it was like supermarket. And every day I go inside, buy something, come, and one old lady on casa, she know me. And I was waiting on the line, and one drunk guy, he tried to bully me. He's like, was maybe 35 on that time, like 35 to 40. He was big guy. And he tried to bully like everybody. He was drunk. And And I told him, brother, you have to be careful. Like, because it's not good idea to joke with me.
Did he believe you?
No, he just stopped and he realized this is real talk. And he left me alone.
He left you alone. I love it. Going back to, you said every day was training, you got to respect all the stuff that your father was telling you. Habib, was he selling you the dream that one day you're going to be a champion where you wanted to do it? Or was he setting the expectation, here's what you're going to do? Do you know what I'm asking? Like, was he saying, imagine one day you're going to be a champion, you're going to hold the belt, you're going to be so proud? Or was he saying, no, as a family, this is what we do. Out of our city, we're Eagles. This is what was he selling you?
No. It's like when just since like first day I signed in UFC, like in my mind, I was UFC champion. Like it was no way somebody can stop me. And father always told me, only one thing can stop you if like, I think it's like lucky punch. Otherwise, if you're not gonna stop train like you train now, if you're gonna still focus, I don't think somebody can stop you, because you can wrestle, you can punch, you can do all these things all night. You know, you have good conditioning, you have big heart. I think you can become world champion. Just you have to be focused. And like, not only just he say, I truly believe this too. You know, it's like I was inside my heart. I was like. I was competitor. Like even now, even I still like, I believe I can beat like anybody in the world. Even now, I'm not old. A lot of people forget about why I retired. Not because I become old. It was because I lost my father because he passed away, and I don't want to do this without him. And that's why I stopped. Not because I become old. I'm only 34 years old. You know this. You check my birthday and
September 28, 88. Yes.
Yeah. Like I was competitor since I think like since when I was born. You know, many people they train like 10, 15, 20 years. They have good skills. They know how to wrestle, punch, kick, everything. But inside they are not warriors. They are professional, but they are not warriors. You know, when you're professional and you inside your heart you are a warrior. These kind of people can become champions and defend their title, like being the best in the world.
I want to come back to that because I do want to talk to you about the levels of competition. I don't want to forget that. But before I go there, I know when it comes down to athletes you like, you're a big, I believe, Muhammad Ali fan. I think you're a Michael Jordan fan, and I think you like Ronaldo. If I'm not mistaken, those are some of the athletes you like, right? And in an interview, you know, hey, if you could meet anybody, who would it be? You said Michael Jordan, right? And then you said when you were doing your documentary, I believe you said, one of my friends told me to watch The Last Dance. He said, I already knew he was the greatest, but I didn't know his whole story. Then when I watched The Last Dance, I really realized who he was, and I wanted to meet him. So it's a tricky question for you, okay? I don't want this to lead to a fight, but I'm going to ask you.
Go ahead, let's go.
Michael wins 3. You seen all 10 episodes?
Then he loses, then he wins 3.
Then he loses. No, he wins 3, then his dad dies and he retires.
Yeah. Okay.
He retires. And then his second drive was he made a comeback because it was to fight for him on his second time around of coming back. You're a very intuitive guy. When you watch that documentary, that scene when he comes and he holds the thing and he's on, you know what I'm talking about, when he's on the floor in tears crying, did any thought cross your mind to say like, what if I come back one more time? You know, Dad, should I come back? And did that ever cross your mind?
No. Like, first of all, I am not Michael Jordan. First of all. And of course, I watched this documentary and it's like best ever I ever watch. I don't know, like, I think many people here, they don't watch this because here's a lot of all business people, you know, it's like they all talk about money. And about Michael Jordan, I think this episode, this moment, it's really touched my heart. It's really touched my heart, and no, I don't think so. I don't think
Why
so.
not?
I'm gonna
Like
come back. Because I don't know. A lot of things. A lot of things come to my mind. First of all, because of my mother. And but I don't think so.
I don't think so leaves a little bit of open, though. It's not 100%. I don't think so. You said I'm not Michael Jordan, right? Did you say I'm not Michael Jordan because you want to say I'm living my life and that's my life, that's his life? Or are you saying I'm not Michael Jordan because you want to say like I'm not as great in my game as he was in his game? What do you mean by I'm not Michael Jordan?
Now you play game with me?
I am playing games with you. It's what I do for a living. It's my job.
I think mentally we close. Maybe he's better, maybe, because maybe he's better because I'm his fan, maybe. Maybe that's why.
Because you're what?
Because I'm his fan, maybe. That's why I think he's better. And but I'm sure we close. Everything what he say, everything what he was doing on all these episodes, this is I have this. And about comeback, I'm not sure. I'm no makes sense. No, for me, no makes sense. Maybe fans, of course, people wanna see this. People wanna drama. People wanna this movie keep continue. It's right now I'm full.
Last question on this, and I'll let it go. Last question on this. So, do you have any sons? You have a son. I have two sons. Do you have any sons?
Yeah.
Okay. So, I'm sincerely curious to know what your answer is going to be to this. Say one of your sons follows your footsteps, and God forbid, something happens to you as a father, and you're no longer here. And your son no longer wants to fight. He says, if my dad's not here in my corner, I'll never fight. If that situation were to happen, would you encourage your son to fight, or would you say, no, son, you can stop fighting? What would you say to your son?
Honestly, I'm going to let him choose what he wants. This is I'm going to let him choose. Not because in my house we have freedom speech between son and father. I'm still boss, but I'm gonna let him choose. But about professional life, I'm not gonna force him at all. And because my father was a great competitor. He was one of the best coaches, and but. What difference between me and my father? I am world champion, and I'm not hungry to make my kids become world champion. But I don't know what my son gonna choose. But if you say I wanna be like you, I wanna be world champion. Okay, this is your choice. If you want, I'm just gonna help him, but I'm never gonna push him to become professional athlete. But he have no choice about one thing. He's a man and he's gonna train. You have to be strong.
Zero compromise.
Zero complaint, and he's almost 6, and he train every day, and there is no choice. He's gonna train because if you're man, you have to be strong.
Habib, absolutely. Question for you. What do you think in America? There's a lot of weird things going on with parenting, kids, what they're teaching in schools, and we'll get into that here in a minute. But what do you think is a father's role in a son's life, and what is a father's role in a daughter's life? Do you think those are two different roles?
I think so. I think it's like completely different.
Please.
First of all, like about schools, our kids spend like, first of all, they sleep 8 hours, right? They wake up morning, they go to the school, they spend there like 8, 9 hours, and we don't know with who they spend time. Maybe these teachers, you don't even know what they're thinking, what they have on their mind, and you let them to give education to your kids. It's very dangerous. If you not agree with these teachers on your life position, but you let them teach your kids, and when they become 16, you want they become like you. Don't work. You have to control who teach your kids, and a lot of people miss this. And it's like a lot of crazy people. They working in school too, and they give education to your kids. But if you talk one-on-one with them, like you're not gonna spend with them even 5 minutes. But they spend with your kids 8 hours every day.
What a point.
It's like very dangerous thing.
Yeah.
You have to control this. And about son and daughter, of course, we are not same. This is what I think, because woman is different, man is different. And I think man is like my son, like what I teach my son, I cannot teach my daughter. I'm like completely different with daughter and son. Maybe I'm a little bit strong with son, but I'm very open with my daughter. And I don't know, I just a couple years ago become father, brother. Why you push me?
What do I know?
You bring your army back home. You have so many kids. Like, I think you have more experience than me to talk about this.
Yeah. I guess maybe one way to make sure the teachers teach your kid the right things is you just go and you say, if you teach my kids the wrong things, I will smash your face. Maybe that's kind of like you know what I'm saying? If you say that to the teacher's going to say, what would you like me to teach them? A very technical question for you. I know you're a math guy, and this one may be a tough question for you. If you're uncomfortable answering this one, I'm totally okay with that. In America, we have a few hundred genders. How many genders do you guys have in Russia? I know you're a math guy, that's why I'm asking. I think maybe there's
here is like, I see only woman and man. There is no between.
Got it.
No between.
That's good.
Maybe kids. This is like, it's crazy. It's like, first time in my life, couple weeks ago, and I was in California, I was like on coffee shop, it's like, I really want to go bathroom. It's like, can I go bathroom? Okay, they told me code, and I'm coming like, 2 bedroom, all gender. It's like, what is this? Where I have to go? First time I said, like, I stopped, like, I stayed like 5 seconds there, like, where's woman, where's man? I locked the door. Anybody inside? It's like, okay. It's like, I don't know, but I grew up in very traditional place, with very traditional family. I'm very happy with this. Like, I'm from big mountains, and we have only 2 gender.
Well, listen. That's in the mountains. But when you live in cities in America, there's like 40, 50 genders. Because here, math is like very important to them. So they kind of want to mess with it.
Like, I have to be careful.
You have to be careful here. But just a question. If you're, with this one, you're in America right now, we got a lot of craziness going on here, a lot of weird things going on there. You see numbers from us. We're not in Russia. We don't go to Russia. You see approval rating, saying Putin's approval rating is 80+%. Why do you think people in Russia love him so much? What is it about him that people in Russia love?
You know, it's like in Russia, it's like if you have very small things, people happy. There is like people don't make like 5,000-10,000 a month. You know, it's like I talk about dollar, not rubles, and it's like I don't know like where I'm from. Like from Dagestan. I'm from Dagestan. We don't need too much. Like Dana asked me, brother, why you never ask me how much I'm gonna pay you to come back? I said, brother, it doesn't matter even if you give $100 million, it doesn't matter for me. You know why? Because I'm from Dagestan and we have traditional and we have like, when we talk with our mothers, it's everything for us. This is everything. Like, I was talk with my mother, we make decision, we make the plan. It's gonna be my last fight. Like, finish. Like, it's hard question, but we completely different people, I think, because I was living there. I'm living in US since 2012, like more like 11 years. I know US people's like mentality. I know Russian people mentality. It's like completely different people, and but I really like people here. Not only Russian people. I really like US people too because they all so nice people. They don't care about what's happening in politics, games, everything. Like in regular, like people, like I go outside, like, you know, this is only place where I can go outside by myself, drink coffee, sit like alone. It's like, this is only one place, even in Russia, in Dagestan, in like Middle East, in Europe, I cannot go nowhere because all the time people bother me. But this only one country, I can wear whatever I want, cover myself, no mask. I go to the Starbucks, sit 1 hour, drink coffee, enjoy with my life. No.
I love it.
This is only one country. And there is, if you want to bring me like to political games, I have chance to become like big political, like working like this, but I don't want this. And everybody know this. I want to stay away from political because politics, things never stop. It's always change. It's always never stop. It's like, it's going to be always some problems, these things. I just want to be like a regular human, you know. If I can people, I'm going to help people. And I help people. If I cannot, brother, everybody have limits.
Yeah.
Even you, me, everybody. I was best in the world, but I have limit. Like with money, with our eyes, with our power, God give everybody's limit. Even if you have $150 billion on your bank account, even you, Zuck Zuckerberg, is gonna be Elon Musk, who's richer than you. You know, it's like everybody have limit. You know, and I don't wanna play political games. I don't wanna do this. I just wanna help people, inspire people to spend my time with my family, with my mother, with my kids, and just being good person. And this is my goal. And
respect. I'm the same way. You know, I don't like to talk a lot about politics. It's just I'm not a fan of politics. But so,
who knows? People like drama.
They like drama. They're laughing right now. They think this is a joke. We're having a serious conversation. So, Habib, you know, you said there's levels to fighting, right? It's easy now for you to do what you're doing. For 30 years, you were training from 3-4 years old. You know, like it's been non-stop, okay, non-stop. And in the competitive space, there's a lot of different things. Like when it comes down to competition, one person could be better in skill sets, but mentally they're weak, or temptations, or habit, or distractions, or friendships, or picking the wrong coach, studying the wrong philosophy, getting distracted, opponent confusing you from your game plan, and you're going this way. As you've gone from the levels of a kid learning how to fight to next level, street fight, 17 years old, you know, boom, and then next, then you're champion, the best in the world. What have you noticed at each level where you're like, yeah, that guy's not going to be able to compete because he's not willing to do X, Y, Z? What have you noticed at each level?
You know, it's like in fighting game, there is levels. They have levels, for sure. Like, for example, on this arena, I was 23 years old, and I have only one fight in UFC, and it was my second time in my life I see cage. Because when I was competing in Russia, it was no cage, it was ring. And I was fighting versus 29 years old, 14 ranked in the world. He have 17 fights in UFC, and one of the best. He was one of the best at that time. I was fighting with Gleison Tibau, and it was like very tough fight for me. I win like unanimous decision, but this fight bring me on different level because I compete with him. We share cage together, and I beat him. I become on another level, and every fight can bring you on another level. If you between fights gonna learn. If you between fights non-stop and train. And this is, I talk about experience, but there is one more things, like about your mental toughness. Because when you go to the cage, you have so many emotional come same time on your head. And you have to live this, every emotional they have separate places, but if everything come on your mind and this can make you weak, this can make you break, this can make you strong, you know. It's like these things big difference between regular fighters and champions. And you know, and for example, it was 2012 here, and after 6 years, I fight Neighbor in like Neighbor Arena, T-Mobile Arena. It was biggest fight in UFC history. Like billions people watch, and it was like big pressure. This guy, like you say, he was talk too much.
You're talking about Conor?
Like, yes, I talk about Conor. Yeah, and it was like very big fight, and it was like big pressure on me. And I remember when I was talking with my father, and he told me, hey, remember, you know how people make diamonds? Diamonds make it under big pressure. If you can handle this pressure, you're gonna become diamond. But if you lose, you're gonna be loser. Just be careful. You have to understand. You have to understand what you want. When time comes, you have to shine. And it was very good advice for me. I remember because he was in Dagestan because he didn't have visa. He could not come to support me. I was here in Vegas. I handled this, and but I was cornering a lot of guys. I see a lot of fights, and I can say like a lot of guys they broke before they come to the cage. Broke. But inside the gym, they are like beasts. But when time comes, when you go to the arena, when 16,000, 20,000 people look at you, you cannot shine because they cannot deal with the emotion. You know, it's very hard to control because so many things come same time on your head.
How do you deal with it?
You know, I cannot say like exactly the way how I deal with this. Like I think you have to born with this. This is what I think.
You think so?
You can train yourself. You can have like, you can become like experienced fighter, train yourself, everything. But if you don't have like this mentality, like somebody gonna break you.
So it's not like you're sitting there you're praying to God, or you're thinking about what your dad told you, or you're going to a nice place in your life, or you're tapping into comments of what that person said, or you're going to your game plan, you're not doing that.
This is different things. This is about what you believe. This is about what about your faith, you know? Like what I believe, like anything can happen with you, this is for reason. And it's like, if you lose, you lose. But of course, I don't want to lose, but like, it's very hard to explain. It's very hard to explain, but you know, this is about your faith. Like maybe people gonna think, oh, this guy too much, like how to say, too comfortable. Not
religious?
No. Underestimate. You cannot underestimate. Like my mind was like, how this guy can stop me? I train all my life, every day, no day off. How this guy can stop me? Okay, only one way how he can stop me, like it's supposed to be like lucky punch or something like this. Otherwise, like I'm gonna try to take this guy down. If this guy stop me one time, I'm gonna try to 100 times. And it was work always, you know. And it's like, but you never was on fighting game. I don't think you're gonna understand me.
I respect that. Yeah. So I'm asking, I'm trying to learn your world. But you know, there's some of the mindset stuff that applies in different areas of life, where in sales, sometimes you're coming across a sale or an opportunity where if you close this or you recruit this person, it could be a life-changing business deal. And some people go in nervous, they don't know how to handle it. Some people go in and they deliver, so it applies to business. Very different with the pressure on you guys. You got eyeballs. Like when you're going to go sell an insurance policy, there isn't 48 million people watching you. It's just you and the family, right? So 2.4 million, by the way, people watched the biggest fight ever, pay-per-view fight ever in the history of UFC was Khabib against Conor. I don't know if you guys knew this or not. Holds the record for the biggest fight ever. Absolutely. So when Conor was saying what he was saying to you, because you were listening to what he was saying. You know how some people are like, they're acting like they're not listening? Like you would, because he was to your left. You're listening and looking at what he's saying, and you're actually internalizing the words. Why are you doing that? Are you doing it because you need and want more rage to destroy him? Or are you doing it because you actually are paying attention to what he has to say?
No, I like to listen to people when they talk. It's very interesting because you can listen to them and you can understand where is their IQ. You understand what I mean? Yeah. If you are stupid, what you can do? You cannot do nothing. How you can, if you cannot handle with yourself, how are you gonna control myself? How, like, if you cannot control yourself, if you cannot control your family, you have to be quiet. Just don't talk in front of a lot of people because they're gonna understand who you are. It's better don't talk, you know? And like, I was listening to him. Okay, maybe he says something like good things. Maybe I'm wrong. You know, it's like everybody make mistake. I was listening to these guys like course, this. I'm like, okay, these kind of people, they never gonna beat you. This is two different level. You have to be a little bit, at least you have to be smart. Because when you go to the cage, there is a lot of things. Your head have to work, you know. And when I listen to him, I understand his level.
When you listen to him?
I listen to him. Of course, we're sitting on press conference. This guy talk all this.
Is that when you said, I have him, or did you know before?
No, because there is skills, no way we're on same level, okay? Because my skills, like fighting, his skills, it's different, you know? This is what I was believing, you know? But, okay, let's listen to this guy. Maybe he's like, where is his mind, mental, you know, mental part? But when I listen to him, okay, this is your level. Okay, welcome to the cage. October 6th, we're gonna talk. I'm gonna show you who you are. This is what I was telling all press conference. We will see.
When you fought a lot of different people, you fought Dustin, who's a great stand-up guy. You fought Justin. You fought Conor. These guys are all guys that pack a good punch. Who's the toughest puncher? Like, who's the hardest puncher with you that you felt it? You said this was a good punch.
I think it was Justin Gaethje. He hit like truck.
Justin Gaethje.
He hit like truck, but it was one thing what breaks him. Like when he hit me, like I remember it was right uppercut and left hook. Like it was his best shot in the fight. And I told him, like, brother, this is everything what you have.
That's what you told
I
him?
was talk with him. Like it was conversation inside the cage. I like Justin Gaethje, you know, it's like, and I was talk with him, like after this combination, I told him, brother, this is everything what you have. And end of the first round, he started to like tired, and I told him, brother, this is jet lag because you come to Abu Dhabi 1 week before the fight. I'm here 1 month, and I know what is this, where I was after 1 week. Because this is like desert, you have to be there like at least couple weeks before the fight. And I know myself, like 1 week before, 1 week when I came, like I cannot sleep, you know, I sleep only a couple hours a day. Like in training, I'm tired, and I'm like, okay, this guy landed Saturday and he fights Saturday, is gonna be his peak jet lag. And I was like, and inside the cage, I told him, brother, you have jet lag. And I catch him. I feel, I feel. Like this is mental game. This is not only about your skills. You have to be 100% with your mental and skills. When everything come together and you're not old, when you're 32 years old, your skills is good, your mental is good, everything come together, then you can shine.
Do you fight better angry, or do you fight better more just at peace, focus on the game plan?
No. You have to be relaxed. These kind of things teach me my coach Javier from American Kickboxing Academy, AKA. And I remember when I first time come to AKA, he let me spar. My English was like almost zero. And he told me like, relax. I'm like, relax, sounds like I have to push hard. It's like, okay, I push hard. And all the time this guy, he was like, hey, you have to listen to me, relax. And I'm like, okay, relax, I have to go hard. I'm sparring, you know. And after 1 year, I realized, relax, you have to calm down. And I'm come to the coach, I told him like, coach, sorry about that, because I was thinking like always like, relax, I have to push hard. He said, no way. It's like,
you really thought relax had a different meaning?
Yes.
Oh my God.
Because at that time I know, yes, no, let's go. It's like first round.
It's classic.
Like relax, it was something new for me. Okay, relax, I'm like, sounds like.
Destroy him, like he thought it had a different meaning. That makes sense. So I shouldn't say to you right now, listen, Habib, just relax. It's gonna be okay.
Now I know.
Now you know.
Don't worry about this. No, I'm relaxing.
I'm safe. So it's interesting you say that, because when I watched you fighting Conor, you know, I felt like you were fighting for your country, for your last name, for your father. Like when you beat him at the end, you were not letting go. So you didn't seem too relaxed. You know what I'm saying? You seemed like you wanted to keep going, like you really wanted to hurt him. What was different about the fight with Conor than all the other fights?
On this fight, I was very relaxed. But when fight, no, I'm honest. I was controlling myself since when we're beginning everything, like all press conference, this, weigh-in, everything. I was controlling myself, and like end of the fight, it was. I think it was too much.
You lost a little control?
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah.
Because I'm human too. Everybody make mistake, you know. But this fight, this choke, it was not mistake. It was my plan. Make him tired and choke him out. This is what I told them. I'm gonna bring you to the deep ocean.
What do you think about Conor? As in regards to, like, you know, you have the best pay-per-view. He's got 4 out of 5. When you think about his level of promotional marketing, selling, when he fought, Mayweather, the smack talking, that part of the game that kind of elevates UFC. And now yourself being a coach and you have your own league and you're, developing fighters and you're running your own league. If a person comes in that they're going to be like that and loud like Conor, are you going to say, relax, relax? Or now your role has kind of changed. You're kind of like the Dana White. Are you now sitting there saying, I got to go find my Conor that's loud so we can sell more pay-per-views? Or do you want most of them to be relaxed?
I think it's too much attention for him.
Too much attention?
What do you think?
I think if you want to sell pay-per-view, it's a marketing strategy. I mean, yesterday I went to Dana White, invited me over. I was with him yesterday, briefly, and he has this super slap thing. I don't know if you've watched the super slap videos. You never seen it?
I saw cover. I said, but I don't follow this.
You don't follow the sport,
because in our mentality, like slap, it's not good. Like to slap, it's better to punch face.
You prefer punching than slapping?
No, don't slap nobody. Like slap is not good. Like,
no good?
No good.
Why?
You cannot slap man. No. Because like how you gonna slap man? It's not good.
What do you think about the Diaz? He liked to slap people from Stockton.
I don't know, for America it's okay. I don't know, like for me it's not okay to slap. Even if I am gonna have chance, I'm never gonna slap people. Better punch his face. This is different mentality, So.
I got it. So it's kind of like you're gonna fight a guy and say, listen, because I have respect for you, I'm gonna punch you in the face instead of slapping.
Okay, push him, but never slap. Like you can.
Is that because it's an
better
insult?
Is kicking, but
Insult.
No, because like slap to the face, it's like very disrespectful.
Okay, yeah, that's what I figured. Yeah, insult. I got you. So now, as a coach, so we got the last 5 minutes here. Khabib, as a coach, sometimes as a performer, your drive, right? Your ambition. For a person to be the best in the world, you have to push yourself to certain levels that even others can't push you. You have to go even more than your coaches are pushing you sometimes, right? Then you flip and you become a coach, okay? And you're coaching others. And you see somebody that's got a lot of talent and capabilities of going, and this guy can actually be a major fighter, but you notice certain areas, you push, they break, or something happens to them. How hard or different is it for you to go from the mentality of a fighter to now you have to teach that fighter mentality and coach these guys?
It's very sensitive things to coaching somebody. But when I was growing, like my father was coach. He was my coach and he was training other people too. And I was seeing like how he trained, how he coach, his style, everything. When I moved here, like 2012, and I become very close with Coach Javier, and I have like 11 years. This is big time. And I get from him this experience too. And when I finish my career and starting coaching guys to cornering, like on that time, I already have very big experience to coaching. And I know how to affect people. I know what they want. And it's very dangerous things when you don't train somebody is like 8 weeks, or 3 months, or you don't know his skill and you try to cornering him. It's very dangerous, but you don't know nothing about him, what you're gonna give, what advice gonna give him. Because there is not only skills, there is about mental things too. Like you have to understand each other with your student, with your fighter, It's it's very dangerous. Like when I was like maybe 2014, 15, I remember like when somebody asked Coach Javier to cornering somebody, he said no. I'm like, Coach, come on, be humble. People ask you because you're a famous coach. He said, no, don't work like this. Because I don't know this guy. I don't train him. How I'm gonna corner him? Because I don't know his mental game. I don't know his preparation. I don't know his skill, his background. Yeah. If I'm gonna just go there with water, give him water, hey, do this. This don't work like this. Never do this. I'm like, it was almost 10 years ago. I'm like, I don't understand him. Right now I understand because it's very hard things. It's very hard things. You have to be close with your fighter, with your student, and you have to understand. You guys have to understand each other, you know. Very good. Like connection is like very important. Connection and energy. I believe energy. I believe connection, you know. Some people take energy, some people give energy, you know. It's like there is so many things. It's very sensitive things.
I want to go a little bit more on this because we talk about how in the coaching phase, when you're working with somebody and developing them, you go from being their friend first, then you mentor them, then you challenge them. First, we have a relationship. We break bread. Maybe you come over to my house. I cook for you. And I'm learning about you. I'm learning about your father. I'm learning about your mother. Now we have some kind of a trust together. Then I see how big you want to go. Then I see what your dreams are. Then I give you direction. I say, look, if you're serious, here's what I would do. Then you mentor them. And then it gets to a point that you have to challenge them. The next phase is more pain. The next phase, you have to push a little bit more. The sensitivities, how do you find out how big somebody thinks that you can push them to that level? I don't know if you understand. Like, let's just say if I'm wanting to train with you and my outcome is just to be a good fighter locally, and then you fight with somebody else and this guy's like, no, I want to be a champion, or I want to go into UFC, or I want to go to get a belt, or whatever it may be. How can you identify who is the person that's going to go to that level and who's not?
It's very easy, honestly. It's not that hard. With my experience, it's very easy. You know, I can train with him a couple days and I understand what he wants. And a lot of guys, I tell them, brother, you don't have to spend too much time because you want to work, you want to work and you want to train. It don't work like this. You have to sacrifice all your life if you want to become champion. But same time, if you have to make money, for you to live, it's better make money. Because if you are not ready to sacrifice everything, even 1%, it has to be like 100%. You have to be focused to become world champion. If you're working every day like 6 hours and you want to train like 4 or 5 hours and you have to sleep, eat, like a lot of things, you know. Like between trainings, you have to train after sleep, then nighttime you come again train. You know, it's like there is so many things you cannot do. And one of the things, like what father always told me, you don't need to work. You don't need to, just stay focused, train, and your time gonna come. You don't need to. I remember like when I was 18, 19, I'm like, father, I'm like a little bit shy to you ask money all the time because I'm not kid anymore. Like why you need money? For what? You have house, you have food. This is money for you to go training and come back. Sleep, train, eat, repeat. Why you have to work? Like, stay focused. Your time gonna come. And I'm like, okay, because I don't have choice.
You had no choice with it.
I think many people here, they don't understand this kind of connection between father and son. I think like...
you think they do or they don't?
They don't.
Tell me why.
Because America, freedom, too much freedom.
Oh, wow.
It have to be always rules.
I understand.
You have to put always rules. There is like, without rules, it's like even mixed martial arts, we do everything, but we have rules. You can do whatever you want, but don't bite. You know, you cannot bite. Don't go to the balls, eyes. You understand what I mean?
Yeah.
There is rules. Like we call it like 30 years ago, it was like no rules fighting. It was like this. But there is always was rules because people call it because we can wrestle, you can punch, you can kick, you can choke, you can do everything. And people think there is no rules fighting, but there is so many rules. It's like, doesn't matter where you're from, Russia or US. It have to be always rules, discipline, and schedule, you know.
Last question. When I watched a video with you wrestling with a bear, right? And I showed it to my son. He didn't believe it. He's like, there's no way that's a real video with the bear.
I'm going to wrestle with him.
You got to wrestle with him. He's the one that shook your hand. He was talking to you. But wrestling with the bear. But I also watched the videos with you and your dad where it's this one, I don't know where you guys are at, and you're trying to take him down and you can't. You know which one I'm talking about? There's a video where, you know, he's holding, you're trying to take him down, and you're like, look, he's not letting me take him down, you know, with the fighting. That relationship, the dynamic, when was it when you you knew you could beat your dad, or even till the end, you could never beat your dad?
Yeah. No. Like, my dad always say, when you go to the Mets, there is no father and brother. Like, you, my enemy, come here. It was like this. But when I was like, I think, 2021, it was close fight. Not fight, like wrestle. We wrestle always. And I think when I was like 23, when I just become UFC fighter, I just signed contract. That time, it's a little bit changed. I feel like when I go with him, it's like, even 21, it was still close fight, like close wrestling match. Like grappling, wrestling. And 23, 24, I start to give him problem, like around, like when I was grapple or wrestle with him, I can make him tired a little bit. Like, I feel it. Because between us, it was like 26, 27, 26 years old. When I was 23, he was like 48 or how many? What do you think? You good with numbers?
23?
When I was 23.
He was what?
He was what?
He was 48?
No, he was 46 or 45.
He's 40.
You told me you check everything about
I don't know his
Come
birthday.
on.
You didn't tell me his birthday.
You told
You
me.
said December 11th?
Father born 1962.
Well, but what?
I am 1988. When
Yeah.
I was 23, how old was my father?
Now you're giving me that.
Let's go.
He said 68, 20 years.
Come on, you make so many millions. You don't know numbers. Like, come on. Let's go. He was.
You're 88.
No. 1962.
Yeah.
I am 1988.
So
when I was 23, how old was my father?
49.
Wow. This guy.
Yes or no?
Wow.
Did I miss it?
Impressed me.
I think I got it, no? But you know what I'm learning based on what you said about raising boys? And can we make some noise if you're a proud father of a son? All right. Guys, Alejandro, I think you're going to like this. From listening to you, I figured out what we do wrong in America by raising boys. I think in Russia, fathers, where you're from, they instead of, having their kids get different gifts, they have them wrestle with a real bear. In America, fathers give their sons a teddy bear. It's very different. So maybe more we need to kind of like practice saying, hey son, you want to be a man? Go wrestle a bear. Anyways, give it up. Habib Nurmagomedov.
Thank you so much.
Brother, thank you so much, man. This was great. Let's take a picture. Thank you. Give it up, Habib.
Thank you so much.